Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how we can interpret data from histograms. So in this histogram, the students in a class collected data on how long it takes students to get to school. The data is shown in the histogram below. So the way histograms work is we have numbers along the horizontal axis at the bottom and numbers along the vertical axis on the left, going up and down. So I'll talk a little first about what those mean. So at the bottom, we have the number of minutes it takes students to get to school. And we have a bar in each interval to show how many students fall within that section of times. And then on the left, we have the number of students. So that means that the height of each bar tells us the number of students that fall within that section. So for example, if you look at the first bar from 0 to 10 minutes, I can look at the height of that bar. It's at a height of 2. That tells me there are 2 students that have a commute from 0 to 10 minutes. So the reason this is a little different from a dot plot is all we know right here from this is that there are 2 students that have a commute between 0 and 10 minutes. We don't actually know exactly what their commute time is. We don't know if it's 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 2 minutes, 0 minutes. We don't know. We just know it's between 0 and 10. So the first question asks us how many students were surveyed. So to figure this out, I'm going to want to find how many students are in each section or in each bar by looking at the height of each bar. And then I'm going to add up all of those numbers to figure out the total number of students in the survey. So we already did the first one. We already found there are 2 students that have a commute time from 0 to 10 minutes. The next bar is from 10 to 20 minutes. And I'm going to look at the height of that bar and then go to the left to see how many students it's representing. And I see it has a height of 3. So that means that it's representing 3 students that have a commute time from 10 to 20 minutes. The next bar is from 20 to 30 minutes, and it actually has the same height as the first bar we looked at. So that means there's also 2 students that have a commute from 20 to 30 minutes. The next bar is from 30 to 40 minutes, and it's a little taller. So I'm going to look at the height and then go all the way to the left to figure out the total number of students. That wasn't very straight. The total number of students that have a commute between 30 and 40 minutes. So that means it's representing 5 students with a commute from 30 to 40 minutes. The next bar from 40 to 50 minutes is the same exact height. So that means there are also 5 students that have a commute between 40 and 50 minutes. And then the final bar is from 50 to 60 minutes. This is the tallest one. So I'm going to go to the top and then go to the left to see how many students it's representing. It's representing 6 students that are between 50 and 60 minutes for their commute. So now I just have to add up all of those numbers. So I'm going to add up 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6. That's going to tell me the total number of students that were surveyed that are in this data. So we can use a calculator for that. So 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6. That gives me 23 total students who were surveyed in this data. So 23 students. The next question asks how many students have between a 20 and 30 minute commute. So I'm going to go on my histogram and look for where do I see the numbers 20 and 30. I see from 20 to 30 is this section on the histogram right here. And I only see one bar within this section. So I'm just going to want to know how many students are between 20 and 30. So that's how many students are in this one rectangle, this one bar. And I already counted that the height for this is 2. So there's 2 students that have a commute between 20 and 30 minutes. So 2 students. The next question says how many students have less than a 20-minute commute. So for less than a 20-minute commute, I need to find 20 on my graph, and then I'm going to want to count everything that's less than 20. So everything to the left of 20. So I see that there are 2 bars to the left of 20. I don't want to count what's at 20 because that would be 20 to 30, which is more than 20. I just need what's less than 20. So we have 2 bars to the left of 20 representing less than 20. And I'm just going to add up the total number of students in each one. So 2 plus 3 gives me a total of 5 students that have less than a 20-minute commute. My next question says how many students have between a 30 and 50-minute commute. So between a 30 and 50-minute commute, I need to find 30 and 50, and I want to count everything in between. This is counting 2 bars. So it's the bar from 30 to 40 and the bar from 40 to 50. We're going to count both. We already found that both of these have 5 students in each section. So I'm going to add 5 plus 5 to get my answer, which would be 10 students that have between a 30 and 50-minute commute. The next one says, what is the most common range of times that students spend commuting to school? When you see the words most common, that should make you think of the word mode. So we're trying to find the mode for this. So I'm going to be looking for which section has the tallest bar. So I see that the farthest right one is the tallest. And we don't want to know how many students are there. We want to know the range of times that's representing. And I see, if I look below this bar, it's representing between a 50 and 60-minute commute. So the most common range of times that students spend commuting is between 50 and 60 minutes. It's important to notice that it's not asking us to find the most common time, because we wouldn't have an answer for that, because we don't know exactly what the times are. We just know the ranges that they fall into. We just know that the most students have between a 50 and 60-minute commute. We don't know what the actual most common time is, because we don't know exactly what each time is in between 50 and 60 that students have. So the next one says, what is the longest time someone could have spent commuting? So the reason it says could have spent commuting is because, once again, we don't know for sure within each section how long each student's commute is. We just know the farthest, the possible range that their commute could fall into. So for the longest time, that's going to be the biggest number where we see data. The biggest number where I see a bar is 60. So 60 minutes is the longest time someone could have spent commuting. We don't know for sure if someone has a 60-minute commute. We just know that's the longest someone could have spent commuting, because that's the farthest right where we see a bar. And then the shortest time someone could have spent commuting, I'm going to go all the way to the left to find the smallest number where we see data, where we see a bar. And the smallest number where I see a bar is 0. So 0 minutes is the shortest possible time someone could have spent commuting. Again, it's most likely that a student didn't spend 0 minutes, because I don't really know what that would mean. Maybe they live right next to the school. But we just know that the farthest, the lowest commute time is somewhere between 0 to 10. So we know 0 is the smallest possible time someone could have spent commuting. Okay? Hopefully this helps you to interpret other histograms.